What is up, Patriot family? Happy FAFO Friday. That's just where I'm at with it.
First thing, jump out of my car thinking I'm going to be bright pink today. And somebody drives an hour and a half in the same color.
We didn't even talk about this, okay?
Didn't talk about it. So I was like, okay, so we're doing this today. Then we get into the studio. There's gremlins. There's
Gremlins.
David, can we play the song and set the mood, please? If we break out into the bachata, mind your biz.
Yep, that's what we're doing. Good morning. I voted for this. Look, so I know we are facing a government shutdown, but ICE is still funded. So there you go. That's why we played that.
There
and because
you
I
go.
like bachata and it got me going. So,
All
right. What are we talking about today,
Got a lot
ma'am?
to talk about today. We're going to bring you up to date on the Save America Act, obviously passed through the House, what you need to do to make sure that every senator that needs to be is on board. We're going to have a wonderful guest joining us, Gabrielle Clark. Can't wait for her to join us. Plus, in the second half of our show, we're going to talk about the Office of Business Management. Russ Voigt is talking about all the wins going on within the White House.
He's awesome.
Plus, Lindsey Graham found a backbone. We're
did he?
happy. Yeah, apparently he's arguing against sanctuary cities. It's only taken him a couple decades, but we're grateful. We're grateful. We'll take the wins where we can get them. All that plus so much more, guys, right here on Open Mic. Let's go ahead and
Open that mic. Let's go.
Taking back our freedom, back to where we started. We're wearing our red hat tonight. It takes more than just a feeling. Oh, better be believing, and America's gonna be home.
What do you do when they try to cancel you? MAGA Nation, we cancel proof. My red hat stays on. My red hat stays on. You know I love God, but in Trump I trust. November 5th, he gon' ride with us. Our red hat stays on. Our red hat stays on. It's the mayor of MAGAville, the RNC King. 2024, freedom gon' ring. Mr. Red, White, and Blue. I'm still fighting for each one of you. And keep your red hat on.
What do you do when they come for you? Freedom's
keep your red hat on and keep your pink blouse handy, because apparently it's really difficult to get the documents you need in order to be able to vote. And Tim Burchett, who I love, we've got to get him maybe a selfie stick so he can do his lives up here. Because it's always we call it divorced dad angle. It's like dying.
Oh, we love him, and it's so funny.
Take a look.
Take
a look at this video from Tim Burchett. Take a look.
You're an American citizen to get registered to vote, and you got to show a dadgum photo ID to vote. And that ID, 213 Democrats used their IDs to vote yesterday. Nobody hollered about racism there. It's just ridiculous, folks. This thing is just about corruption, and it's about control. And the Democrat Party ought to be ashamed. I mean, it's just pathetic. That's not any way to treat people. We ought to have safe elections, and they are fighting us tooth and nail. Hopefully we can get enough votes in the Senate, and it'll happen. I believe Leader Thune.
Well, this was fun to watch, the left explode and talk about Jim Crow 2.0, because apparently black people don't know how to, get their birth certificates and IDs, and apparently women are back in the 1700s, and we just need a strong man to tell us where to go
to get all of
get all of our information. Not, I'm a veteran, so I absolutely have no idea how to, in the course of moving, to gather all of my paperwork to change,
true. Well, and part of the
duty stations and birth certificates for my kids and name changes and all that. God forbid.
How in the world did you ever handle
can't
that,
purchase
Allie?
a car. Can't live by myself. I can't open a bank account.
You're a pretty good shot too, so it might shock people to understand it.
Well,
so here's what Tim Burchett is saying, though. He's like, listen, in order to show up and vote, which all of your representatives do, take a look at this photo. This is literally how they do it. Insert ID here. Push button here.
Laughed out loud when this representative.
So how many representatives are female? Was it difficult to get these? Because I bet in order to get your credentials, in
You have
order
to
to be a
give an
representative,
ID.
in order to get an ID, I bet you had to produce, I don't know, a marriage certificate, birth certificate, social
something.
security number, something.
But you know what? You know what I say?
What?
And I think I heard this in Spaces, and I don't know who I'm giving it to.
What?
But this is what I say, and what I heard said. If it's racist for an ID to vote, it's racist to get a license to carry a weapon. It's racist to show my ID when I'm driving. It's racist to show my ID if I'm buying alcohol or cigarettes or prescription drugs or anything else that requires a license.
That's right. That's right.
You want to play this racist game? Go ahead.
And here's the issue, because obviously they're adding citizenship to this, and a lot of states in their IDs right now, your driver's license, do not have to prove citizenship. So you're going to find out which states were willfully ignorant on that. Senator Pat Murray, they caught up to her to try to ask, this is what I love about this bold new wave of independent journalists, right? Because they're in the halls of Congress asking the hot mic moment, will you support this? It's a real quick, short answer. Let's take a look.
Hi, Senator Murray. Now that the Save America Act has officially passed the House, can we count on you to join in to support it in the Senate?
Nope.
Why not?
She just was like, nope.
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 What? But here's the thing about securing our elections, because I always hear about this literally every day. There's somebody that's got to try to talk to me about this. They said this stuff didn't happen. Here is a postal worker now going on the record talking about what he took part in, and he didn't really even know the whole scope of it. Take a look.
So, in total, I saw 24 gaylords, or large cardboard containers of ballots loaded into my trailer. These gaylords contain plastic trays, I call them totes, but trays will work, of ballots stacked on top of each other. All the envelopes were the same size. I could see the envelopes had handwritten addresses, return addresses, and I could even tell that one was marked registered mail. That one was off to the side, all right? They were complete ballots. I didn't think much of it at the time. At Bethpage, I was first loaded with 2 tall gaylords. So picture that thing there, or this little representation here, but this tall, all right? So
Wow.
I was loaded with 2 tall gaylords, okay? And that were, hold on, where was I at?
We can bring it back.
That had
This
mixed milk.
is the United States Postal Service subcontractor Jesse Morgan. He's going on the record. He has been somebody that's spoken to officials before, but now he wants to do this openly. He claims he transported about 288,000 completed ballots from New York to Pennsylvania.
Oh, wow.
And Scott Pressler was, he had also shared this. It's something that, it's one of the reasons why he was on the ground so much in Pennsylvania during this last election. So we've got an issue here. Houston, we have a problem. And this is the interesting thing, Allie, and you brought this up last night. We're being told that it's racist to want voter identification, that it's somehow racist to want proof of citizenship, that it's somehow anti-American or a conspiracy theory to want to secure our elections from shenanigans like this. We have one person in particular, Gabrielle Clark. I know you were on Spaces last night, and her video literally went, it went
going viral.
It went viral. And
I'm so excited.
So simple. I want to
her.
play the video, and then we're going to welcome her to Open Mic. Take a look at her video.
Birth certificate, marriage license. Pass the SAVE Act, dummies.
Welcome, Gabby Clark.
Hey, Gabby, what's going on, my friend? Oh my goodness.
Good morning.
Tell us about this video. What your well, we all know your inspiration, but tell those. Let's just run through it just one more time.
Well, I mean, I was homeless for a long time, and I'm a widow. But I still managed to keep on my paperwork. I think it's reductive for all of these Democrats to say that, Black women and poor people and women in general, Black people and married women for some odd reason are just incapable of maintaining their documentation to get, to get a proper ID. I have a real ID. I mean, I have a passport too. I mean, it's ridiculous. And so I was sitting at my desk, seeing clients, and I had my folder that I keep all my documents in, and and
Like a good, responsible woman.
yes, it was right here on my desk, and I just pulled it out, and I was like, my birth certificate, my marriage license, like it's not that hard. Most of us have them. Even drug addicts have IDs,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, we had one of our other friends, Heather. We call her Heather. It goes by Liberty Valkyrie on X. You can follow her as well as Gabby. And she mentioned, she goes, they were talking about having it's considered a vote tax, and she's like, no, you've already paid for it. When you got married, you bought your license. When you got divorced, you paid for that. When you get your passport, you pay for that. Yeah. Every time you renew your driver's license, you pay for that. And what about this notion of screw the patriarchy, but now we are just so incapable as women.
Well, now they know what a woman is.
anything.
Like, how are we determining that they're women?
Right.
And what is their gender on their driver's? Like, this whole thing is just so out there. I heard them saying yesterday, well, it requires people to get passports. It does not require you to get a passport. And are we not doing birth certificates anymore? Like, somebody asked me that the other day. They're like, I don't think I actually got a birth certificate when my daughter was born in the hospital. Like, now you have to go and actually fill out extra paperwork to get it. I don't know what we're doing. What are we?
It's $5. Like, seriously. That is the most ridiculous. I have 5 children, and I had some of my children at home. And one of my children, his birth certificate didn't get registered with the state. So you have to get it from the county. I have that one too, right here. Just, I have it right here. Like, it's always it's just ridiculous.
Do you find it insulting, Gabby?
It is insulting. It's really reductive. Like, we're all capable adults. We drive, we eat, we walk and chew gum at the same time, and you know what? If there is somebody who is incapable or where an ID is too hard for them to obtain, I guarantee you those people aren't voting anyway. Those
Right.
people are not voting anyway, but that's just ridiculous. There are some people in my comments that were saying, well, it cost me $300. Well, nobody told you to lose the original.
There you go.
Nobody,
Yeah.
if you didn't keep up with the original, then that's what happens.
I always say these are the people that didn't put their name on their paper in school, and the teacher was always like, this is why you do redundant tasks like this, because you, as an adult. And are we preparing people in school to be able to have to do this? I mean, this is crazy.
And so what do you think this is? Okay.
I was homeless when I got my ID, and I had it general delivery. So I mean, there's just no reason for it. And in most states, if you can't afford an ID, then you can sign a waiver, and they will waive that fee. But in most states, it's only $10. So all of this is just completely and utterly ridiculous.
Well, what do you think this is going to do for the Democrat demographics? How do you think this is going to land with them?
I don't think it's going to land very well. I mean, I think that a lot of the things that the Democrats have done in the past few years, in the past decade, really, have been, it has made a lot of people decide that they're politically homeless because they're not down with this. They're not down with transing kids. They're not down with, open borders. I mean, when you talk about people who are, rational, like here in Texas, one of our Democrat House reps, he was one of the people he was the only Democrat who helped pass the SAVE Act in the House. And John Fetterman, that guy, he's the same. He's like, okay, but open borders, no. Trans and kids, no. IDs, yes. Let's be reasonable. This isn't. It's rational. It's logical. It is not a hard thing. And I think that the Democrats are, I think that they're making a huge mistake by treating the American people like we're idiots.
Let me ask you something, because a lot of people who are going about their day-to-day life, I mean, we choose to be a little more political and being public about it. But to most people, it's very difficult to want to even do that because, you know, we're tied up in our work, we're tied up with our families. It doesn't occur to everybody to take out their phone and record a video. But sometimes it's like, it's just that it's that idiotic. I want to know, like, what really spawned you to kind of be very vocal on this topic, and what has it been like as far as, you know, in the comment section, in the DMs? What kind of responses have you gotten?
Well, nobody's brave enough to put anything ridiculous in my DMs.
That's how we feel.
Because I mean, I'm sure they know if they say it in my DMs, it's going public. But you know, I've been in this fight for a long time. You know, I'm a lifelong Republican. I've never voted for a Democrat. I mean, most people think that I left the Democrat Party because, you know, just solely because I'm Black. But no, I've never been a Democrat. I've always been a Republican. And so I've been fighting this fight for a very long time. I filed the first federal lawsuit against woke indoctrination in K through 12 education.
Wow.
You did.
And now I have a program that is being used worldwide to help pull kids out of the trans cult. And so I help parents through affirming reality. And you know, this is just another representation of how the Democrat Party is trying to ruin our society. They're trying to ruin our culture. They're trying to ruin our country. And you know, Americans are just tired of it. They're not going to stand for it. And you see that specifically with Black America. I mean, look at Nicki Minaj and all that she's been able to activate her entire
whole base.
Yes.
She was in Spaces last night and was asking everyone, how many of you have called your senators today? Make sure you call your senators. And everyone is like, they're posting videos of them on the phone or texting them or emailing them. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
I just got goosebumps.
This is absolutely amazing.
Because it's the one thing we've been saying in the conservative movement for a long time is that, and this is why it's so important to welcome in younger people or people that don't look like you, that don't sound like you, because we have to embrace and change culture. And so many times, as whether it's because you're Christian or because you're conservative, you think the world is over there and we're just going to park them over there and we're going to kind of keep doing our thing. We've got to bring them in, because these young people, when they get on fire for something like that, I mean, I'm seeing it right now with some issues we're having in our school district. When young people get on fire and they realize this is their future at stake, you get them hooked on our republic, and they never want to let it go. Let me ask you, because I know you've got this portion of you that's really active as far as schools. We were just talking before the show started. I think a lot of parents are extremely overwhelmed with some of the issues that they're faced right now, especially those that attend public school. There's an uptick in violence. There's an uptick in drugs. We've heard about prostitution within the school. So what is your advice that you can give? I know you've got children. Allie and I do as well. What advice could you give to parents that are feeling like we stepped in a twilight zone with what we're having to deal with parenting our kids?
Stop letting schools violate your children's and your civil rights. Sue them. Sue they draws off. This is no
I remember that is like your favorite phrase. That is your catchphrase. Say it again.
Sue they draws off. I have coffee cups and t-shirts and everything. Listen, it's the American way. You want to be more American, then sue somebody. Because everybody in this country has a basis for a lawsuit if their children go to public school. They've been compelling our children's speech. All of these crazy maniacs have been walking kindergartners out, saying, in protest against ICE. I mean, that is an absolute violation of parental rights, and it's an absolute violation of children's civil rights. So sue them. Sue they draws off.
Well, and we even asked on this show the other day, what happens, God forbid, if these, especially I'm thinking of the high schoolers most recently in our district, that a small portion of them did walk out and protest. But what happens if they, hop in a car and there's an accident and God forbid somebody loses a life or gets injured? That parent is under the assumption that child is in school all day. And this is one of the reasons a lot of our schools have very strict policies as far as going off campus to eat. But yet, just open the doors and allow these organizations.
If it's a protest. You can't go off campus to go get some coffee or get some food. But if there's a nice protest, sure, go
That's
have
not
at it.
truancy at all. Yeah, it's
What
crazy.
in the world? It's crazy.
There are certain, I mean, I never want to squelch anyone's passion when it comes to exercising their First
Right.
Amendment
Of
rights.
course.
Okay. And there are certainly high schoolers where that would qualify. Okay. But this idea that the schools are pushing it and encouraging people and essentially putting targets on the backs of the children who will not participate,
Yes.
that is what I have a problem with. But if you're willing to exercise your First Amendment rights at school as an older student, and you're willing to suffer the consequences of that, then that is your right as an American as well. But the schools should not be pushing it, and they certainly shouldn't be facilitating it.
And I'll tell you, part of what we're seeing across the nation in groups that I'm kind of clued in with is that there's a lot of funding and a lot of organization going on from NGOs that are really pushing this. A lot of these students, that when they walk out and protest or go to school board meetings and protest, there are caravans, there are small buses involved. I mean, if you've ever put together a field trip, you understand that doesn't just happen for free. So I think we need to also take a look behind the curtain of who's funding this, because teachers unions and a lot of them have been complicit in it. But you're right. I think there's a bigger network here. Pivoting a little bit back to the Save America Act, we've seen it go through now 3 times through the House.
Through the House.
Thank
third
you.
time.
Third time's a
For the
charm.
third time.
We do want to show us a quick graph here of who our viewers can reach out to. These are the holdouts, guys. These are the ones that are still, I don't know, sitting on the fence. We've got Lisa Murkowski, Mitch McConnell. I'm sure he's propped up like Weekend at Bernie's style
Susan Collins. And
Tom Tillis.
Why is it always Tom Tillis? Tom, sir.
Gabrielle, what is your message to these Republicans who cannot get on board with simple voter ID and U.S. citizens only voting?
Term limits. I mean, because every single one of them, look at how long they've been in. Mitch McConnell, my gosh, he's stroking out on camera. And I feel like somebody should report his family members for elder abuse, because that man is in no position to be. And we've seen this over and over again with Dianne Feinstein and Joe Biden and all of these, and it's not just the Democrats who are doing this. It's the Republicans who are doing this nonsense as well. It's time for the old guard to just go on ahead and go and be with your grandkids.
Right.
Or your great grandkids, as the case may be with them, and relax and enjoy your last golden year, and let the younger people handle this, because they're making terrible decisions. They're not making decisions at all in some cases, which is even worse than making a bad decision. And I mean, the Gen Xers are really tired of this nonsense. And I think that first of all, go ahead and take care of this business right now, and then move on, because you're done.
It shouldn't take this type of movement to get your elected representatives to do their job. I was listening to somebody, a pundit last night, talking about what they're doing in the Save America Act is really nothing. It was Thune. Thune who was saying this. This is nothing new. This is enshrined in our Constitution. This should not be this difficult to put this in law and to get it passed through both a Republican majority House and a Republican majority Senate. And the fact that it is really your thermometer in America. Take the temperature. We're having to pull Republicans to the right side of an issue that's constitutional. It's sad.
It is wild to see.
I'm really shocked to see Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins doing this. They're both married women. Like, seriously, you're going to allow this nonsense and let the Democrats get away with painting married women as some sort of, idiotic bobbleheads that are just, ornaments for their husbands. It's insulting. And, shame on them. Shame on them for not standing up for women. They've done it in the past. They've stood up for women in the past. Why is this different? And Tom Tillis, I can't wait until he's voted out for his next election, really. He's a ridiculous person.
Yeah,
I agree 100%.
There's a lot of people in his district that I speak to, and they all feel the same way. So,
and I have to imagine that there is a marketing meeting that happens like with the Democrat Party.
Oh no, it's an
and
email. They don't even meet.
And they were like, what are we going to do? How are we going to push the narrative? Because we really just want these illegal votes, and we just want to not have voter transparency. So what could we possibly use? And who came up with the idea? Well, it's those poor women. And we just need to, let's get the women back. Since Trump won all the women, let's just get the women back. And it's idiocracy. You have been a pleasure to watch. I've been able to follow a lot of what you're doing now on X and through social media. So, Gabby, let our viewers know where they can keep up with you, where they can find more about you, and how they can support you.
If you are having an issue with your children for rejecting their sex and you need help, you can go to affirmingreality.com. My partner and I, Dr. Nikki Johnson, a pediatrician, we have been helping parents pull their children out of transgenderism all over the world. Last year, we got 2 girls off of testosterone. We didn't even have to talk to them. We talked to their parents, and their parents talked to them, and their parents didn't even convince them. They just were better parents, and they stopped. They just got off. And you can also find me on X and all the social media platforms at GabsClark5.
Thank you so much, Gabby, for joining us this morning. We will definitely have you back on.
Oh, yes. You're an open mic lady, for real.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. God bless you for what you do.
Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome, guys. Well, I want to put, if we can, David, those numbers back up on the screen here so that our viewers, everybody needs to call. If you live in Arkansas or Kentucky.
Right now.
Lisa Murkowski, you can see, and they're all 202 numbers, right?
Yep, 202, 224. The only 4 are the last 4 that change.
That's right.
To the spirit of liberty. Liberty Cigars, where history meets craftsmanship. Each cigar tells a story. The Founders Collection honors the visionaries who shaped a nation. The President's House Collection celebrates the leaders who steered it. And the Naval Series salutes the heroes who defended it. Handcrafted with precision, each blend mirrors the essence of its namesake. From the boldness of George Washington to the elegance of Thomas Jefferson. Indulge in a moment of reflection. Light a Liberty cigar and savor the legacy. Discover your story at libertycigars.com because every great nation deserves a great cigar. Liberty Cigars, smoke the history. And don't forget to use promo code OPENMIC for 10% off your order.
I think every tech producer we've ever had, their children have always ended up hooked on that
singing
song.
And dancing.
Singing and dancing. Oh, that was amazing.
Song. We
Gabby
love it.
is
Gabby's
amazing.
awesome.
She's our type of people.
And guys, she's always in spaces just like Michelle and I, Monday through Saturday, Sunday. It really just depends on who you're following.
So we go on spaces and then we'll be like on a private like chat too. Like, oh my gosh, did you hear that? Oh, who is that? Oh, we should.
It's great. I love it.
Or I'm asking Allie questions. What does that mean? Who's that person?
It's great. It's absolutely great.
Thank you for joining us, guys. If you're not already, make sure you follow us at Real Allie Leger, at Michelle Posey, and at Open Mic Ladies on all platforms. Plus, like, share, and subscribe. Pass the word on. Okay, we've got our wonderful Secretary of War that has come out and made an announcement. Take a look at this. Pete Hegseth did announce that the Pentagon will be appealing an activist judge's order to block the disciplinary actions that they wanted to take against Senator Mark Kelly. For disobeying, the seditious six, they came out with that failed marketing campaign, trying to basically incite within our military ranks to not obey Trump's orders. Really, they misquoted the statute, and when you're sowing that kind of distrust in our military, it is seditious in nature.
Well, and he's still technically on retainer. You don't actually retire from the military. Because at any given moment, you can be called back into service. Yeah. And that means you have to fully comply and abide by USMJ. So you just have to.
I love that. So
United States Military Justice Code.
There was an activist judge that said,
I said the acronym wrong, but y'all know what I'm talking about. I need more coffee.
There's an activist judge that has blocked that order where they were trying to hold him accountable, so he's going to appeal it. And I think this is the thing. People think that they're so used to not seeing government finish something that they start or doubling down on something. Oh, look, he's got a copy of it right here.
Ooh, look at
you.
Ow.
David, it's scary what you pull up. Oh my gosh. I just want to check. Do you have the gremlin on hand? Is the gremlin there? We'll see if we get the gremlin.
Yeah, well, because, I mean, you should see my laptop, actually. I sent it to David. Like, my laptop has completely gone on the fritz. I cannot freaking do anything. It is the Gremlins. Guys, we still don't have a name for him.
So I've had some people message with some names, and I do like the idea of he was one of the Rat Pack, but he's actually a Satanist.
Oh.
So I was like, no. Sammy Davis Jr., like very, very, like, he was a part of the Rat Pack, and it's cute. But anybody, like, he's a Satanist. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen those videos.
Mm-mm.
Oh yeah, he's
no.
But we have to think of what we want to call him. So guys, keep the suggestions coming in.
Keep it coming.
So Gabby, our guest in the first half of the show, alluded to Senator Fetterman, say that 10 times.
Right? You can't.
Who sounds like he's making a lot of sense, aside from, his attire, wearing, it's casual Friday every day for him. He's talking here about a potential government shutdown and how they're trying to say,
Which is currently what we're in now.
What was it that Senator Kennedy called them? The Karen part of
the Karen party
of the Democrat Party that's trying to say, let's shut down the Department of Homeland Security. Somehow that'll shut down ICE.
Which it won't.
Not true, but Fetterman gets it. Take a listen.
Hi, as a committed Democrat, I want the same changes that every other Democrat wants to make on ICE. But ICE already has $75 billion in funding from the big, beautiful bill that I did not vote for. So what it will impact is that we'll shut down important parts of DHS, whether that's FEMA, whether that's the Coast Guard, whether that is also about the CISA, the Cyber Security Agency in our nation. All of these are shut down. We want to find a way forward to produce those changes, but shutting the government down is the wrong way.
Agreed. So not only are they refusing to secure our elections, which inevitably would secure our nation's liberty, they are also not willing to secure our national security by shutting the government down. There is a bill that has been filed in the House that will effectively, if passed, which I doubt it will be, to not allow Congress to be paid during a shutdown.
I want our viewers to really understand that the U.S. House of Representatives back in September of 2026, they voted for a major spending bill signed by Trump, but it was voted, it nearly passed, ending the partial government shutdown, but it only funded DHS through February 13th, which is today. So that's why they're using this as a tool now.
Yes.
The Democrats are to say we don't want to fund DHS. But
this is like
somebody
the
had
second
the
time they've done
wherewithal
this.
to put ICE funding in the big, beautiful bill
Right.
that had already passed. Could you imagine if they didn't? What would happen? I mean, what's going to happen to our southern border again? Like, this is crazy. This isn't that we don't have the money.
It's they don't want
This
to
is they
use
don't
it.
like the principle. But DHS, as Fetterman so eloquently said, it funds FEMA, which obviously they bankrupt using it for illegals.
Yep.
The Coast Guard, the TSA. Hey, who's going to be traveling coming up this spring break?
I don't like this. And we've gotten a couple of things that we're supposed to be doing in the next couple of weeks canceled because of TSA being shut down. This is not okay. And cybersecurity agencies, like, this is not okay either. Like, they don't care about you.
They don't.
They don't care about you, regardless of what comes out their mouth. This is why it's so important.
It's like a relationship. Don't listen to what they say. Watch what they do.
Actions and patterns. This is why it's so important for you to connect what they say while they're on the campaign trail and what they do while they're in office.
That part.
If those two things are not congruent, they're lying to you. And they're lying to you. They are using America's security, national security, as leverage.
Well, and
people's paychecks.
Let's take a look at what they're doing by not by standing in the way of ICE when they want you to protest against ICE. They're allowing criminals to run rampant.
Right.
By not securing our elections with the Save America Act. They're telling you that they're okay with illegals and those that are not citizens coming in to flood the system and vote and take away from your vote. By not funding the Department of Homeland Security, they're telling you that they really don't care about funding our intelligence or all the things that keep you and I safe from day to day. So the Democrat, Tifa, Karen, group is telling you what they believe, and none of it serves your best interest. You can have disagreements with Trump all day long. These are things that should be very, very, they should be groundbreaking in what they believe. And they're telling you time and time again that they believe in the opposite interest of the United States. And one of the things that I found was something we should celebrate, Allie. Of course, they had given the platform, the microphone, over to Tom Homan, ICE director, which again is going to continue to be funded no matter what they do with the government shutdown, because it was put in the big beautiful bill. He's talking about groundbreaking results in Minnesota. Take a listen.
In addition to taking public safety threats off the street, ICE here in this state have located 3,364 missing unaccompanied alien children. Children that the last administration lost and weren't even looking for. That's because the leadership of President Trump, these children were located.
Illegal alien children. Now, I want you to think about all those big, bleeding heart liberals that say, oh, it's just, you're so hateful to not want these families to come here. There are children who came here without families, without supervision. They were handed across the border to somebody that wasn't even vetted as a sponsor, and largely lost. Far more than the 3,000 that he's saying that they've recovered in Minnesota, probably in a daycare that didn't really have children. I mean, it's sad to hear this, but this is what occurred with an open border. If you really had a bleeding red heart, you would have wanted border security from the beginning.
And you know what is really frustrating about all of this is that we have the left who will say they're standing for women when it comes to the SAVE Act, not voting for the SAVE Act because women.
We can't find the paperwork.
But they won't, and they'll stand for women when it comes to the Epstein files, right? But they won't stand for the women who were murdered and brutalized by illegal aliens. They won't stand up for children who have been mutilated by the pharmaceutical companies and their parents and forced by their school districts and their counties and their elected representatives. Yeah. They won't stand up for these children who have been set into human trafficking, whether it's through the open border or through CPS and DHSF, okay? Like that, they will not stand up for the ones that actually need representation, but they fabricate this lie in order to push an agenda.
And they won't stand up for the women that fought so hard to get our own Title I division, Title I funding for sports. They will not stand up for women who don't want biological men in their spaces. It's very sad to see that again, the Democrat Party has largely abandoned their entire base. We've got more Democrats serving in this Republican administration than we've ever had in a Republican administration.
There are more Democrats that have defected the Democrat plantation, and
they end up being really great Republicans because they're not brainwashed by the establishment right either. So
I'm going to start calling the walkaway movement the Underground Railroad. Because, like, it's not even underground. It's like the social media railroad. They're running away. They're hopping on the walkaway train. Thanks, Brandon Strzok, for all your hard work. Yes. And they're running to the Republican Conservative Party. It's not even Republican Party.
It's not even,
Because a lot of them are like, we're MAGA.
We're MAGA. We're America first. We're MAGA.
We're America first. We don't align with these crazies over here either.
Allie,
the ones that we have to actually pull to the right. Pull to the constitutional.
I mean, my back hurts from supporting some of the
goodness
people
gracious
that we have to put on our back and carry across the finish line. Who would have thought you would have seen the day? Get ready, because hell has frozen over. Lindsey Graham on the right side of an issue. I know. Somebody's probably told him he needs to do this. Is he running for re-election?
Yes, and President Trump has endorsed him.
Oh, Trump.
I know.
You know what? We'll save that battle for another day, because at least Lindsey Graham understands that sanctuary cities are a bad thing. We've got 12 states in our nation that call themselves a sanctuary state. Lindsey Graham is making some sense here. Let's give him credit where credit counts. Let's take a listen.
For if you want people to obey the law in this country, do away with sanctuary cities. Senator Murphy is from Connecticut. It's one of 12 sanctuary states. What does that mean? Local officials, state officials, refuse to work with the federal government to turn people over to the federal government as required by federal law. So you want to obey the law in Connecticut? Stop being a sanctuary state. You want to fix immigration? Have policies that make sense. Y'all act like for 4 years Biden wasn't president. Every Democratic senator aided and abetted the Biden administration with a massive invasion of this country. You turned the other way. You never said a word. You let Biden obliterate our border. You let him send people into the interior on planes, trains, and automobiles. Only God knows what happened, who's here. You said Biden, you did nothing. And here's what I've learned about my friend.
I want to know what vitamins he's on.
Is
he taking ginkgo?
No, he's putting, what is that?
Functional mushrooms.
What is that stuff that you got me on in my coffee now?
Collagen, but
Okay,
that doesn't
different.
help.
That's different. I thought it was something better.
Functional mushrooms. He's got like lion's mane and cordyceps and reishi mushrooms in his coffee.
He's gone all maha in his
So
coffee.
who gave him an IV? Is it which one is it? Because thank you, McConnell, for we appreciate this. No, it's not McConnell, it's Graham.
It's Graham.
I'm like, McConnell, it's Graham.
But,
my bad.
But
my bad.
He's making some sense, and
Lord,
you know, I don't know.
Gremlins.
I don't know that I agree with him on everything, and obviously we could call him Too Late Graham, just like we call Too Late Powell. But this is interesting. If you listen, he's talking about Murphy's, Representative Murphy's district.
No, was it Murphy or Murkowski?
Murphy. It's Connecticut.
Oh.
And that is the same representative that had gotten a microphone in her face saying, now that the Save America Act has passed, are you gonna support it? She said no. Well, if her state is a sanctuary state,
this is why.
And she's not for voter ID and only U.S. citizens voting, what does that tell you? What does that tell you? 1 + 1 actually equal to this Democrat likes her sanctuary state and likes the extra votes that she can put wherever she wants.
And they like the policies that they have because they can run on them and say that they didn't do it, that it's the other person. It's their problem. It's not my problem. You sound like a spoiled brat. And you sound like a child that has never been reprimanded or held accountable for anything you've ever done.
Democrat. Yeah, Democrat. And I don't, listen,
Time out.
I got to tell you a story, quick story.
I'm listening.
Okay, so I was at a meet and greet as a candidate the other night, and I'm looking.
Tell everybody what you're running for.
I'm running for Sarasota County School Board District 5.
You want to support her? You can go to michelleposey.com.
Yes. Okay, so I went in and I'm speaking and I'm like, talking to people and shaking hands, and one guy comes up and he says, look, I'm a Democrat. And I was like, I'm sorry that you had to endure the last hour of me talking about the Democrats because I'm sure that was tough for you. And he said, no, actually, I don't align with anything the Democrat Party does. I see a lot of junk on the left side too. And so it hasn't been enough for me to switch parties. Because,
right.
I spent a lot of time talking with him because honestly, you don't want to spend your time in an echo chamber. I mean, you need to surround yourself with people that are like-minded and that can lift you up. But at the end of the day, I was just as interested in hearing from this guy about why he couldn't be motivated enough. All he did was tell me all the awful things the Democrat Party's doing and what he doesn't believe in. But it wasn't enough. The Republicans' answer and work ethic and morality was not enough for him to go and switch his party. So what
does that say? Like, what is the bigger issue then? Like, what would it take, and what's the hang up?
And part of what he said is that because in Florida our school board races are nonpartisan, he's like, I can still vote for you. But I'm really not sold on the state level and the congressional level. And I did try to talk to him a bit about that, and so he understood the extreme between Republican and Democrat. But I have to say, if our party doesn't take a full-length mirror look at what we maybe do and what we allow, why are we not about the business sometimes? Why do we have Republicans who are also making a lot of money off of trading when they're really voting on those same policies? If we don't, it's the same thing as Christians, right? Like if we look like the other side, what is the pull for people to go, oh, I want what you've got. Yeah, I like that. We've got to make that contrast even more relevant when we're talking about us as a party platform, which is why I spent so much time talking to him. I thought that was interesting. I'm like, well, yeah, there are some things that the Republicans have said they'll do or have not done quite the way I would like. This is cool as all get out. I don't know if you saw this, but MAGA is not just America. The Prime Minister of Italy, Giorgia Meloni, is saying he approved deployment of the Italian Navy. I bet they got good uniforms. I'm just saying. Italy has some good fashion.
I want to go to Italy. That's it.
Hey.
I'm going.
Oh, I'll tell you that story later. That's not on air. Whoop, lock it down. Italian Navy, the Italy Navy is going on to block all vessels. Tell me this isn't a Trump-esque move. Block all vessels carrying illegal immigrants into Italy. He's saying, nope, take a look. Over here.
Oh.
That would get me to turn around. Like I'd be like,
I would, yeah.
I'm sorry, sir. I didn't mean to infringe on your backyard. I'm so sorry. But do you know who posted this? Antonio Sabato Jr. Ooh. You know where Antonio Sabato Jr. lives? I'm not giving away the address, but he lives here in Florida, on our coast. And I think that's kind of funny when people de facto from Hollywood and come to the free state of Florida.
They do.
Love it, love it, love it.
I wish they would be more active in politics. Don't run for office, but you can be active. Like no, because no, because we have people that are from Illinois that have tried to run there and that are now running here and haven't lived here long enough.
But I'm saying,
and you haven't been plugged in long enough to grassroots. I don't think so. If you want to run for office in a new state that you're in, you need to plug in locally first.
Yeah, but he has.
Okay, no, that's good.
Okay, yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm not. It's not specific to him. Calm down. It's not specific to him.
Sir, I'm so sorry. Is that
those are the uniforms?
Okay, that wasn't. I'm a little disappointed.
It's not. Nothing beats the
okay.
Nothing beats the U.S. uniforms.
Okay.
Nothing.
I'm sorry.
Nothing beats the U.S. uniforms.
That's the new Italian camo.
Well, they match the U.S.
Okay. So when I think of Navy,
because when you look at our Navy uniforms, that's exactly what they look like.
David and our viewers, when I think of
America
Navy,
leads the way.
I think of an officer and a gentleman.
Yeah, but they don't
the
always
movie.
wear
Do you
the
know
dress
the movie
blues.
though?
Yes,
okay.
But they don't always
Richard
dress
Gere.
in dress
This
blues.
is before Richard Gere was weird. This is when he was like before Pretty Woman. This was good Richard Gere.
Can we bring back real romance and
he comes into the factory and he's like looking for her, and then she's got her earplugs in because she's like boss lady working, and she's working in a factory, and he comes over and he picks her up. Listen, this is why I lost weight, because I want to be able to be that woman that can be picked up. What would you do if somebody walked into the studio and was like,
we're not going to talk about that. We're not talking about that. How did we get from politics
I don't know.
to an officer and a gentleman being picked up in the office? Like, that sounds like an after-hours show, ma'am.
I'm just saying, we're girls. We can always pivot to that conversation. Back to the task at hand.
Make romance great again. Look at our administration.
Speaking of romance, he's either newly engaged or newly married. I haven't caught up, but this is exciting. Russ Voigt, he's the OMB director. He's talking about a confirmed massive savings that we're having under the leadership of Donald Trump. Take a listen.
Literally no other president would have done this to get at the foundations of the Green New Deal, so tremendously excited that we are where we are today. Great work by Lee. I'm a little worried that this next year will be, EPA alone will be dereg east by the number of things that are going to come out of EPA. So great work to the team. $1.3 trillion in savings, massive historical opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you.
And he's giving credit there to Lee Zeldin, because the head of the EPA, because what you're seeing is a dial back of all the failed policies through the Green New scam, which we now know, because we've been able to see it through Doge, was rerouting a lot of our taxpayer money into these failed programs and NGOs that were like, testing testosterone on frogs or whatever. Like they were just doing stupid things.
Weird things.
Very weird things. So thank you.
They're turning all the frogs gay. Sorry, that's just, I can't. It's what popped in my head. Thanks, Alex Jones.
You didn't know you could get trans frogs and an officer and a gentleman in one episode of Open Mic. This is why. This is why. Yes! Thank you! Oh my gosh, let's just watch.
See, but my favorite is the back of the motorcycle with Tom Cruise. That's mine. Like
the volleyball scene. If we're gonna go Top Gun, Top Gun, which by the way, rest in peace, Iceman, who's no longer with us. That was very, very sad. But okay, there might be a movie night this weekend because it's Valentine's weekend. Officer and a gentleman.
Anyway, pivoting.
Okay.
Well, we need a new word. I cannot with pivot.
Pivot.
No.
Moving on, guys. So we had
Y'all.
I just we're tangled. Gremlins be gone.
Our tech guy just like screamed pivot in our ear. It was like it was so
you,
friends.
David.
It was so friends.
We love you. You're the one that found the picture, David. So I mean, thank you. But okay, so moving on,
David's
because we're
awesome.
obviously both parents as well, and we talked to Gabby earlier about some
I quit. No, I'm kidding.
she can't quit because I know where to find her.
I'm kidding.
Some of what's taking place in our schools, if you haven't seen it, you probably have read about it in your local headlines somewhere. First, we had a coordinated ICE attack in Minneapolis, and then that narrative was adopted by the National Teachers Union and many teachers unions across the nation. And then before you knew it, magically, students got the idea to walk out of schools
And we were
in
just talking
protest
about
for
this.
ICE, where ICE was never really prevalent anyway. ICE officials are not going into your school at all. They're getting a warrant and going in and arresting potential people that are criminals. So if you don't like that, then tell me you're a Democrat. But this is a man who's gone to school board meetings, and he's upset. He's at a school board meeting letting them know that he did not give his child permission to leave school and go out and protest. Guys, this is going to be happening all across the nation, and I think school districts better prepare because take a listen to how angry he is.
It used to be political, now it's personal. Our children are involved. I am sick and tired of watching politicians and school boards, people from the city, telling children they can go out and fucking excuse my language, go out and get in the face of law enforcement. Good evening, my name is Vance Kalabi, and on the afternoon of February 2nd, 2026, my 14-year-old child called me. He was not at school, he was not sick, he was in the middle of White Center, Washington, in the middle of a protest that was organized for his middle school. Okay, my stomach dropped when he called me. You guys have noticed that on January 30th, 2026, 2 children were killed just blocks from a school on Rainier that was having a very walkout that day. RCW 28A-600-035, by allowing them to leave and under Initiative 2081, the Parental Bill of Rights, I have the right to know where my child goes. That was taken from me. I was not given notice. I was not given an email. I was not given a call. You exposed him to real danger. That's neglect and that's endangerment. RCW 98-42035, criminal negligence by not being aware of the substantial risk. You call it policy? I call it abandonment. I am filing a lawsuit before the Paul Johnson want to make sense.
He filed a lawsuit.
Sue their draws off. Isn't that what Gabby just said? That's what Gabby said. Sue them. They're letting your kids walk out.
And I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to tell you what. In a district like where I'm running for office, I personally don't believe that the schools are pushing it here, but organizations
are.
that have coalitions working on the inside are behind it, and we are working.
And
we are mad at work to try to connect those dots, because once we find out you're an organization that is organizing student walkouts, you potentially will be sued as well. Nobody's above reproach in this district, not when it comes to our children.
And not in Florida, period. Hopefully.
Really?
I mean, and we're sending all this to who we need to send it to, and it'll get worked out. Guys, if you have this information, send it to your attorney general. Send it all the way up the chain. Have all of them in an email together so you have evidence, documented paper trail of what is going on and who you've contacted, because your next level after that is the United States Attorney General. Then you can go to the FBI, and if not, you can go to your congressman. Talk to your congressman, talk to your representatives. That's exactly what they're there for. And if you do not utilize every single tool that you have available in your toolkit, you're complicit.
I'll tell you, Allie, I'm grateful.
You're not hopeless or helpless.
For the connection that we have to our local district through Turning Point Club America, and the number of people students that reached out either through email or text form that were being told that like the lights in the classroom were being shut off. And they wanted to stay behind. Listen, we have a district of roughly 45,000 students. About 1,000 walked out. That's not even 2% of our population. So the overwhelming majority of students use their First Amendment right to keep their butt in a seat and finish their education. And I think we don't talk about them enough.
And we're not saying that students don't have a right to speak.
Absolutely.
Or to have passion about political things or cultural issues. That's not what we're saying. But during class hours, when you were supposed to be in school learning math, writing, reading comprehension, science, biology,
explain to me
all the things.
Explain to me.
That's where your focus needs to be.
Explain to me why a Club America chapter has to have permission slips to take students off campus in order to go on a field trip. But
an ICE protest
the
doesn't?
Sea Alliance here in Sarasota can organize, with partnership of the Florida Teachers Union, a push for a walkout, and no parent signed anything.
How does that even happen? Like,
That is
dismantle
not okay.
teachers' unions, y'all.
Just good. And this is a perfect example.
Yep.
This is
Corey DeAngelis.
in Washington State. This is the head of the teachers union in Washington. Listen to what he's calling for.
I would include our amazing students who have been taking action, not only in the city of Seattle, but across the state, in Wenatchee, Moses Lake, Richland, Spokane.
We can bring it back, David. He is talking about a walkout in Washington State. I don't know how we ended up not having more time, but just so you know, in that same state, only 50% of students read on grade level. But yeah, go ahead and walk out of your school.
Well, before we leave, I have some Valentine's cards I would like to read to you.
This is going to be painful.
Baby, you're like vaccine trials. I want to see you long term. You make me happier than a person in a pharma ad facing 17 ways to die. You had me at I will not comply. Are you big pharma? Because you got me questioning everything except you. Just remember, being alone on Valentine's Day is better than being with someone that trusts the government. Roses are red, violets are blue. Read the inserts, you'll be anti-vax too. Roses are red, violets are blue. Consent isn't consent if they pressure you.
And that's true. Listen.
She doesn't want flowers. She wants you to read vaccine inserts. Love is in the air. No, that's just a bunch of endocrine disruptors.
I love it.
This is all from Informed Consent Project on Instagram. I love these. They're so hilarious.
That's so precious.
We hope you all have a Yes! That's it, right there. We're here too. Yep.
Yep.
We hope you have a fantastic Valentine's weekend. Spend it with your loved ones. And remember, you don't need a day to show your love for someone.
That's
we love
right.
you all the time. We love you long time. Talk to you later. Bye.
No, she didn't. This one.
What do you do when the gas is high?